What quotes should you know overall to actually pass your AQA Lit Paper 1 Macbeth essay? So I'm going to give you some, and I feel like majority of these quotes fit a wide range of questions, which means that you can then twist and apply to basically any question that you might get in the exam. So firstly, fair is foul and foul is fair. Paradox talks about moral confusion, suggests a world where truth is unstable, link it to the Jacobean fear of witchcraft and the disorder that comes with it, link it to violating God's natural order, the chaos that comes with it. You can literally use this for supernatural, appearance versus reality, deception. You can literally use this for ambition as well. Link it to how Macbeth, it distorts Macbeth's reality because he believes in what the witches say, but he wouldn't have believed in the witches if his ambition wasn't so misplaced. The witches are not what caused Duncan's regicide. Macbeth himself causes the regicide because his ambition was so high. Quote 2, you can talk about the vaulting ambition which overleaps itself. You can talk about how ambition is an uncontrolled force, and excess ambition, if it's too much, it causes self-destruction. And this is exactly what happens to Macbeth, because ambition is seen as dangerous in a hierarchical society, because in a society where they see people with statuses and they have a natural order, you can't disrupt that natural order. And because his ambition was so high, he does disrupt that, so it's seen as dangerous. You can link to ambition, power, Macbeth himself. It works for Macbeth being a tragic hero. 3, stars hide your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires. Analyze this through the light versus dark imagery. So it shows concealment and how it links to evil and corruption, and that's what he really wants to conceal. Can link it to the divine order of light, that God sees all, and Macbeth tries to hide this from God himself, but obviously he's unable to do that. We can link this to guilt, supernatural, ambition, appearance versus reality, so much that you can talk about in terms of this showing inner conflict very early on in the play. Then we have the famous quote, "Is this a dagger which I see before me?" This is Macbeth's hallucination or psychological conflict, and the dagger is a symbol of ambition leading him, because you can see that the dagger is literally guiding him, but he himself chooses to follow it. He makes that decision. He has that free will. You can link this to the context of regicide being the ultimate sin and the mental consequences that come with it. And he's aware of this. He knows that there will be major consequences, but he still decides that this is the action that he wants to do. Like in that moment, he 100% decides regicide will be committed. We can link this to themes like guilt, supernatural, ambition. Again, I'm going to go through all these quotes again at the end and how to link them to different questions. You've got quote 5, "When you durst do it, then you were a man." So this is Lady Macbeth manipulating Macbeth through his masculinity, saying that if you do the act, then you will become a man, but because you are not doing this, you are not a man. You're no more. You basically aren't a man. And it's very conditional. It's making his identity being tied to violence. So like, only if you are violent, then you will become a masculine man. So it links to the context of Jacobean masculinity, as in you weren't a man unless you had, you died in war, like you were a fighter or you were violent. So it's a version of gender roles here as well, because she is more powerful in this relationship at the time, because she is the one trying to convince him to do something. Link it to themes like gender, ambition, power again. Or like if you've got a question about both of them, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, then you have the quote, "Unsex me here." This is an imperative, and it's her rejecting her femininity because she wants this unnatural transformation. She calls on the spirits to take away any feminine features that she has, because she feels femininity will stop her from convincing Macbeth to commit regicide. At the time, women were seen as very passive. She defies this completely. She completely subverts gender roles here. It also links back to the fear of the supernatural here. And we can link this to gender, supernatural, ambition, or Lady Macbeth as a whole. Quote 7 is, "Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it." This is a clear contrast and juxtaposition, appearance versus reality. And we can link the serpent to like the Bible and like how it represents Satan. Biblical reference is the ultimate betrayal, because what Macbeth is going to do is befriend Duncan, but then ultimately betray him and commit regicide. The king was supposed to represent like God's representative, basically. So we can link this to things like kingship, even deception, ambition, appearance versus reality. It can be used across the supernatural too. Quote 8, Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? This is a hyperbole to exaggerate his overwhelming guilt. He feels that even the whole of the ocean can't wash away that blood because there's so much of it. Blood symbolizes guilt. So in this way, he's saying there's so much guilt that I'm carrying that nothing can take it away. So the context of this is divine judgment cannot be escaped. Like, if God has chosen to give you that consequence of guilt, you cannot leave, you cannot escape it. So we can link that to guilt, the consequences of guilt, like ambition again. There's quite a few. Talk about this when we're speaking about the aftermath of the regicide. Then we can contrast or link it to Lady Macbeth's quote, "A little water clears us of this deed." This is dramatic irony because she's underestimating the guilt. And we can also contrast this to her later madness when she's washing and nothing leaves her hands. It shows ignorance of any moral consequences. It shows again, though, that she's taken power, so we can talk about gender, appearance versus reality, and guilt. Then we speak about out, damn spot. This is an imperative, but it's showing desperation here, like she's commanding the spot, please leave. This blood needs to leave her hands. And then the use of the word damned is like a religious condemnation, like she cannot escape the guilt of her actions. Link it back to the context of sin leading to eternal punishment from God, especially if it's you've gone against the king. Blood imagery as well. Then we've got, "Oh, full of scorpions is my mind." Talk about how his mind is poisoned. Scorpions represent danger and poison and chaos. His guilt is transforming into paranoia at this case. Like, he's not feeling guilty necessarily here, but he's explaining how his mind is filled with all these evil thoughts and he cannot escape them. He's like literally gone too far and he cannot come back from it. He's like deteriorated mentally. And then we could speak about that quote of nihilism when Macbeth says life is but a walking shadow. So this is when he's completely given up. He feels that life is meaningless. It's an illusion. It's like a tragic realization of the consequences of his misplaced ambition. There's nothing that he can do anymore to fix this. Like, he can't. Like, life feels pointless to him. Now let's give an example. If I was looking at the quote, "Look like the innocent flower would be the serpent under it," if the question was ambition, I can twist that quote to talk about how Macbeth must deceive to achieve power, suggesting ambition requires moral corruption. Obviously, I would method analyze it in the same way for each one, but I need to change my analysis depending on the question. If the question was about kingship, I can talk about the word serpent linking to the biblical evil. So killing Duncan is attacking God's order. Macbeth is going against this. If the question is about the supernatural or appearance versus reality, I can talk about how this directly shows duality, deception. Like, he wants to do what he can because the supernatural has told him to. And if the question is about Lady Macbeth, obviously it's her quote. "Is this a dagger which I see before me?" If it's about ambition, talk about how the dagger symbolizes his desire to pull him forward. If the question is about supernatural, speak about it as a supernatural vision that's influencing him. If the question is about guilt, talk about how it shows psychological instability before the crime. He knows it's wrong. He is self-aware. "With all great Neptune's ocean washes blood clean from my hands." If it's about guilt, obvious, overwhelming, it's permanent. If it's about violence, murder leaves consequences. If it's about kingship, killing a king is a cosmic crime. It's like insane to do something like that. But the stars hide your fires. If it's about ambition, he wants to hide them. He wants to hide his ambition. If it's about guilt, he's already aware his thoughts are wrong. If it's about appearances versus reality, it's concealing your true intentions. So now life's but a walking shadow. If it's about ambition, his ambition has led to emptiness. If it's about power, power brings no fulfillment. If it's about Macbeth as a whole, this is the final stage of his tragic downfall. So the trick is, when you see a question, pick a quote you know. Ask, does it show the key word in the question? For example, does it show ambition? Apply that quote to the question using your paragraph structure, because examiners reward interpretation, not memorization. Don't list out your quotes. Analyze each and every single one of them forensically, words, methods, everything related to the question.